Gardens in Texas in summer. Woo! Howdy, y'all. Today I want to show you a sneak peek of our crash course in culinary math called Culinary Math Murder Mystery. What is it, you ask? Culinary Math Murder Mystery is an edutainment video series that helps future business owners, along with high school, trade, community, and private school culinary students, learn the necessary fundamentals to be successful in mathematics, crucial to becoming a successful chef. So how does murder tie into this course, you ask? The murder in the title refers to don't let math kill your future. There's absolutely zero violence in this series and suitable for all ages. So what do I get with this course and what will I learn? You're gonna receive 12 entertaining edutainment videos teaching you kitchen math basics covering percentages, fractions, systems of measurement, weight versus volume, and measurement units. Then we learn together recipe conversion, volume recipe conversion, conversion factors, food yield percentages, converting small recipe ingredient units to large ingredient units, vendor pricing, cost per batch, cost per serving, and finding the selling price utilizing different kitchen operation food cost goals, like 25%, 32%, or 40%. Well, I'm not done there. You're also going to receive 7 recipes necessary for exercises. You're going to get all the course tools that we call the Culinary Math Murder Mystery Detective Kit. You're also going to get 7 costing exercises covering soups, grains, starches, veggies, and complete entrees. And best yet, they come with answer keys. Last but not least, you're also going to get a completion certificate at the end. So how is this course different? Stark Raving Edutainment believes in taking on the dullest and most difficult learning objectives and making them fun through effective learning practices. Our approach to education believes that learning new material together builds confidence that students need direly through repetition. Stark Raving Edutainment prides itself on learning techniques encompassing a street smart approach versus that plain mandated memorizing, confusing, overwhelming typical course book. How long do I have access, you ask? Well, if you purchase today, you will have a lifetime access to this course. So let's stop talking and let's take a look. So you've paid for the course, you've registered, and now you've logged in. This is the first thing that you're going to see. Now, I took a lot of time and a lot of pride to make sure this website is super user-friendly. Very clean, very simple, very streamlined. Now, as you look at this page, you want to focus on the left side of your screen or the left side of the website. This blue bar and down is what I like to call the main menu. To get the most out of this course, to really maximize the effectiveness of it, you want to start with the first video and let it play. And once it's completed, then you'll start the next video after it in the progression as it's laid out. Pretty simple, right? Now, all these videos are hosted on a private YouTube channel. There's absolutely no ads. There's no violence. There's no profanity. The word murder in the title pertains, again, to not letting culinary math kill your future. Now, this promo or kickoff video is probably my favorite part of this whole project. It really sets the tone. It really gets you focused, and hopefully it motivates you. So I'll stop talking. Let's check it out.
Welcome to Culinary Math Murder Mystery. Congrats on taking the first step of leveling up your future and your career by enrolling in this entertaining crash course we like to call Edu-tainment. I am Chef Stark, your detective, and will also be your trainer. Let's get one thing clear. The difference between a line cook and a chef is that a chef can do three things, which I call the chef holy trinity. One, a chef can prepare the correct amount of food, which is converting or scaling a recipe, utilizing a conversion factor. Two, a chef can deliver the correct amount of food on time, which your cooking or execution timeline is key and invaluable. Believe it or not, cooking is 90% organization and 10% perspiration or execution. Number three, last but not least, you need to be able to find the cost of just one serving of that recipe. And from the cost of that one serving, you will be able to figure out what price you need to sell to your customers, and most importantly, protect your kitchen operations food cost goal. Now, most costing books are dry and have terms you have to memorize to get to know how to do it. And let's face it, it gets tough. What makes this course different is not the entertainment, believe it or not. It's the approach to learning costing, like riding a bike. I highly encourage you to follow along and complete the work as I do, pausing and restarting the video at your pace. Like the wise Confucius said, want to be better? Well, do more. And let's face it, the main ingredient in the recipe for success is effort and practice. Remember to focus on practice, not perfection. It's not a mistake if you can learn from it. And confidence is everything at the end of the day. And it only comes with effort and practice. So let's get on the proverbial bike and let's start practicing.
Pretty awesome, right? All right, so that was our kickoff video. And just like we spoke of, you're going to start the next video after it. Now, like we had in the description, there's 12 videos in this series. All right, and the first one obviously is episode 1. And it's going to cover detective basic training for finding culinary math. As you scroll down, there's a video, but before you start that video, always look to see what you're going to cover first. And in this video, which is pretty much our kickoff with basic math, kitchen math that is, we're going to be looking at systems of measurement, measurement ingredients, dry versus wet, or weight versus volume, what are fractions, what are percentages, and what are different volume and weight measurements. Now notice there are a little parentheses notes that say please complete the exercise. Now before you start your video, you always want to come down and you want to download your files. Now the yellow tape case file documents needed for this video is a kitschy way of just saying this is what you're going to need. All right, again, click the blue button. It'll take you over into a Google Drive. Now, all these files are written protected, meaning you can't type on them. So you're going to hover over it, right-click, and you're going to download. It'll scan for viruses, and wham, there it is. Now, you want to drag this onto your desktop or save it to your desktop so you can actually now start to type on it. And follow me as we complete these videos together. So once you've downloaded it, just hit the back arrow. It will take you back to your table of contents. All right. Now, we were on video 1. There was a little storm here earlier, so my internet's a little bit wonky. It has nothing to do with the speed of this course, for the record. But we're in video 1. Now that you've read what you're going to cover, you've downloaded your files, now it's time to start the video. That's video 1. Then we're going to go into episode 2 or video 2, investigating culinary math costing schematic. Again, there's the video, but don't start it. Sometimes I like to put a little bit of inspirational points before you watch. And in this case, before you can jump into something, it's important to understand what you're getting yourself into. Much like life, right? My boy Confucius always said, you want to be better? Well, do more or practice more. So in this video, we're going to cover the template we're going to be using for all these videos called the cost and conversion document. There's many columns in it. It ranges from A, B, C, D, E, F, and there's even an I. All right, so again, download your files, then start your video. Video 3, we're going to be looking at adding conversion factors to your detective kit. Again, don't start that video. Let's see what you're learning. We're going to learn how to scale a recipe to make more or less based off the original recipe. What's a conversion factor? And why is that thing important? How to convert a recipe's servings. And we're going to focus on column A, B, C, and D. So again, download your files or your yellow tape case file documents before you go ahead and hit play. Episode 4, Identifying Culinary Math's Henchmen, EP and AP. There we got our video, and we're going to be talking about EP and AP. Why is it important? What's a food yield percentage? Foot yield. No, a food yield percent. And why is that important? And where can I find it? We're also going to be looking at columns D, E, and F. Again, download the files, then hit play to follow along. You can always start and stop these videos, guys. Something doesn't make sense, pause it, roll the video back, watch it again. All right. Episode 5, Going Undercover to Understand Culinary Math's Plan of Converting Volume and Liquid. So what do I mean by this? We're going to be covering and studying together volume unit sizes and their equivalents, like how many quarts are in a gallon, or how many teaspoons are in a gallon. Always wonder that? Well, here's your sign. We're also going to be looking at how to find a conversion factor when the recipe volume yield units are different. Meaning, chef has a recipe that yields or makes 1 gallon of cream of mushroom soup, but it's been slow due to COVID, or it's summertime, or whatever, and chef walks in and says, all right, I need you to only make a quart of soup. Well, how do you convert it if the original recipe units in gallons and chef's asking you to make in quarts? That's what we're going to cover in this episode, or this episode. All right, that's episode 5. Going into 6, we're going to be finding Culinary Math's accomplices, introducing the Tower of Power. What the heck is Tower of Power? Well, converting a recipe to make a ton of food is an anomaly in itself sometimes. You're taking a small recipe to make a lot of food. Well, this episode, you're really going to be focusing on converting the original recipe's small units, like teaspoon or tablespoon, of measurement to a larger unit of measurement, like cups and pints, using this trick called the Tower of Power. In 22 years, guys, I haven't met anybody that knew this trick. This trick alone is probably worth the value of this whole video series. Super cool. All right. Sound the horns. You have now, at video 7, entered into actual costing, and we've broken it up into 2 parts. Part 1, or episode 7, before you start the video, we're going to be reviewing column G. And this column is what we purchase our food or our ingredients. That includes the price, the packing unit, and figuring out the price per unit. All right, this is a huge, huge part. Again, download your files before you start the video. Episode 8, or video 8, we're looking at forensics part 2. All right, and what we're getting into this one is we're going to be reviewing column H. Remember, part 1 was reviewing column G. H comes after G in the alphabet. So we're going to be finding the price per unit from that purveyor to match what you're using for your recipe. Example, you might buy sugar and it comes in a 25-pound bag, but your recipe is asking for only 2 teaspoons, 2 tablespoons, doesn't matter. But teaspoons and tablespoons are volume. And the cost of it is sold in weight. You're probably scratching your head right now like, what? What? Yeah. Well, don't fret. We're going to learn this together. And notice, column I is finding the total cost of an ingredient for your recipe. So at this point in this video, you're going to finally figure out what the cost is of that ingredient once you've scaled or converted your recipe to make more or less food. All right. And the hardest part, the Achilles heel to costing that throws every student I've met off, is this video. And again, to beat a dead horse, we're going to figure out how to find the cost of an ingredient when the recipe unit is in volume. Like, hey, I need 2 teaspoons of sugar or 2 cups of sugar, but the purveyor is selling it to you in pounds, like a 25-pound bag of sugar. Hopefully I got your attention. I'm already excited. Video 9, hitting the last home stretch. Before you play that video, episode 9, we're going to want to look at odd disguises and scenarios for culinary math conversions. Well, what do I mean by this? How many times do I have students that walk into my class that sit there and say, oh, I brought grandma's recipe in, or I pulled this recipe off the internet, which everything you find on the internet is not always true or correct. For the record, excuse me. Sometimes you're going to get a recipe where instead of it saying, I need 10 ounces weight of red bell peppers cleaned, and you have a recipe that says, this recipe calls for 4 each peppers. Well, how do you cost that? Well, this episode, we're going to figure that out. We're also going to be reviewing column B in great detail with this topic. Video 10, moving right along. What kills every restaurant's future? Well, what kills every student's progress with this course is not downloading the documents before you watch the video. That's a bad joke. But looking at this, the cost of one plate is what kills every restaurant. So we're going to be covering in this episode, what is a Q factor? Is that from Star Wars? Is it some kind of plane? And why is it important? How do you find the total recipe cost with a Q factor? We're also going to be looking at how to find the number of portions of a recipe, as well as how to find the cost of one portion, one plate, or one serving of that recipe. All right? Again, download the files first, then watch the video. Excuse me. Numero snake eyes, or 11, or 11. We're going to be looking at discovering the selling price of one plate. What do I mean? We're going to be reviewing how to find the number of portions of a recipe, but we're also going to find the cost of that one plate, one portion, or one serving. This is huge. All right. Now you want to download those files again before you click on and watch this video. In the closing video, one of my favorites, we're busting finally culinary math and its operations food cost goal. So we're going to be covering what's an operations food cost goal. Like, sometimes you hear, hey, my kitchen runs a 32% food cost, or that's our goal, or we have a 25% food cost goal, or a 40% food cost goal. Well, that's what we're going to be looking at. And then you're like, well, what's the difference between 25, 32, and 40? Well, we're also going to be talking about examples of different style of operations and their respective food cost operation goals and why it's important to that niche. All right. The coup de grace on this whole course, after you've processed all this information, is to now applicate it and find out how to be competitive in your market or against your neighbor, utilizing the knowledge of your food cost goal and your selling price. Now, this last tab on your table of contents is going to be where all the documents are held. So the same ones you can download in each episode are also listed here. Now, better yet, and I'm going to talk about this more here in a second, once you're done with this omelet exercise, you have 6 more costed recipe examples and 6 more recipes to utilize. This is where you're going to find those exercises. All right. This is where you're going to find also their answer keys to check your work. And then if you need a recipe, again, they're all going to be right here. All that you need to do is click on them. It'll take you to the Google Drive, right click and download it. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this little sneak peek. Now, each student will receive a certificate of completion as well as a chance to share their experience in hopes of helping other future culinarians and business owners. Now, for those that complete the course, there's a contest for some cool prizes, so be sure to follow the instructions included with that certificate. This series, Culinary Math Murder Mystery, will tie into the next series called Autopsy Files, Investigating Inventory and Profit and Loss Statements, so be on the lookout. Listen, with restaurant bottom line profits ranging between 5 and 8%, you really cannot afford to make that mistake. Message me and click the link below and we will start learning culinary math together. So let's stop talking and let's start doing. #, we got this.